So here is my Ariens Edge 42-inch zero turn, purchased at Home Depot. I was looking online, couldn't find any sort of bagger options. I guess you can't really get that for this, or just I haven't had any luck at all finding it. So I decided what I was going to do is get one of those side baggers that you see all the lawn guys using around cutting people's yards. So I purchased this one by Accelerator. I'll put that exact part number in the comments. Here, this is the one right here. GCDISV. It's aluminum 4.15 cubic foot. Bag catcher, grass catcher. That's what it looks like right there. It's super lightweight, probably like, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds. So that's the idea of it. That's the latch to open up the back. This is going to be an attachment where I attach it to the side. So I'm just now starting this process. And I just took off the little side rubber grass chute thing. So I'll continue on and give you updates along the way. Okay, so here we are. I went ahead and put the plate on, this plate. So I figured out the best place to put that plate where the front edge of this basket would basically line up with that front vertical piece of the grass chute. So it basically lines right up with that. So this is where I found the best place to put that little metal bracket where everything hangs on. And then I use these little clamps that I saw someone else post in one of the videos to hold it down. And so the idea now is I'm going to drill my holes and keep my fingers crossed that everything fits on nicely, and then I'll give another update in a minute. So okay, so I just got it put on. Be careful, there's a lot of metal like shards floating around there afterwards, so make sure you sweep that up real well, blow that out of here. This is an area where kids like to walk around barefooted a lot, so I'll have to make sure and clean up some more stuff. I still see it floating around here. So okay, so this is a moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and see what happens. Now, see if I can get this thing on here. Keep my fingers crossed. So the idea, I put it in there, and then it latches on there. It's flush here. And let's see what happens. This deck is really, really strong, so I'm hoping all's good there. It clears it. Looks real good there. I'm gonna go give it a whirl. See what happens. I'll give another update in a minute. See what happens. This is the Ariens Edge 42. I purchased at Lowe's, and I couldn't find any real solid options on baggers or anything like that they sold at the store. So I started looking up the side baggers, and I found Accelerator, and started working with those guys and emailing back and forth, figuring out what the best size that fits for mine. So I mentioned it previously, but I'll mention it again in the description. But that's what it looks like. We'll give it a whirl and see what happens now. I'm gonna test it now and see what happens. So I just ran this for about 10 minutes, and I am covered in grass. So I heard people saying how much dust this thing kicks up, and man, let me tell you what, it has a ton of dust. What I think I'm gonna do is, I did notice at this point right here there was a lot of grass and dust coming out here, so I actually might shift this thing even further up, the whole basket and the plate. I might actually see if I can shift it forward maybe another ½ inch, because the amount of grass that was coming out of here, look at all the grass right there. I am covered in grass. I don't know if you can see, but this thing is, there's grass floating all around me, in the seat, on the controls, and this is what I got. At first, I was thinking to myself, man, I don't see any grass in there, and what happens was, it was just coming out of the chute so fast and was coming to the back end, and I didn't see it just looking to the side. I was just saw this emptiness. So this is about, maybe about 10 minutes of using the basket, and I'm gonna see how much I probably I'm gonna take it off before I take it out. Pull that pin out and see what happens, so I can stand it upright, and I'll just give you an idea. But it looks like it's about 3/4 of the way full right now. Maybe if I empty it out, cut down on some of the dust. I heard you can get covers for this thing to help out with some of the dust. You can clearly see the grass that's right there. So basically it's full from that way back after about 10 minutes. Grass isn't very high, but I haven't bagged it in a while. All right, I'm gonna empty this out and give you an update after I empty it out. So that's all the grass I managed to get out of that first 10 minutes or so. Yeah, I'll go to whirl again. Felt like that was a success. I'll keep giving it a try. But again, yeah, I think what I need to do is possibly move the bag catcher this way towards me and see if that cuts down on any of the amount of dust. But I would say it's a success, understanding that no doubt you will get very, very, very dusty. So yeah, I like it so far. It didn't add a lot of weight to it, didn't mess with the cut, it didn't angle it. That was another concern of mine. I bought this online, I don't know, $530 or so. It came in within maybe 2 weeks. And yeah, I like it. I'll give more updates later, I guess. It took me probably 3 full bags to do my yard. So it looks really good. I find myself, if I take left turns, it's probably easier, so I'm not turning directly into the dust. Make sure you turn off the blade before you come to a complete stop, because otherwise you will just sit there in your own dust and you'll just you're in a tornado of dust. So turn the blade off before you come to a complete stop. But yeah, I like it. Again, I might play around with this. I might shift the whole bagger forward. You will get entirely just completely filthy. I wore my my COVID mask just to kind of keep the dust going out of my face. It might not be a bad idea to put glasses on too, but overall I like it. There's a lot of grass in there. Again, the grass wasn't really high. I was mostly just kind of picking up stuff that I'd already cut in the past that I never bagged. So, but I feel like it did a good job. I don't know if I'm going to do this every single time, but we'll see. But I do like it, and this is the only review that I ever found for specific to the Ariens Edge 42 0 turn with this bagger. I couldn't find anything with the side bagger for the Ariens, so I went on my own and figured it out and managed to get this one. It's real simple, like I said. You just drill a couple of holes in the side, figure out where you want, but the deck is so stable that it doesn't do anything, it doesn't tilt the deck or blade or anything like that. I find that it works perfectly fine. Okay, I decided to follow up because it's been about 4 weeks, I think, since I actually bought this Accelerator side bagger. I wanted to clarify, I think previously I mentioned that I purchased this Ariens Edge 42 at Home Depot, but instead it was Lowe's that I purchased it from. Just wanted to make a quick note. I had been cutting my grass at 2.5 inches, but I decided 3 inches recently, but that's just for my lawn preference. One thing I want to note about this, a couple of things. Since I am super paranoid about putting too much weight right here on this, which it is super strong, I could stand on that and all's good. But I decided, you know what, I don't want to put too much weight into this side chute. So I'll end up emptying it more frequently now. So instead of letting it fill up halfway, 3/4, I probably only let it fill up maybe 1/4 of the way, just so I don't have excessive amount of weight in this bagger, but more importantly on that deck. So I'm just being super cautious with that. And last thing, a good thing to do, I find, is once you start getting grass in here, it starts to getting really dusty. And when you're driving back to go empty it, make sure and turn off the blade. So I like to turn that blade off as I'm driving back, so this dust isn't kicking up in my face. So as long as I'm moving, it's fine. The dust isn't really hitting me in my face. But as an extra measure is I'm moving, but I also turn off the blade so there's not extra dust kicking up in my face. So it's just kind of a little lesson learned. Again, so I do that. I empty this out more frequently so I don't have any extra weight on that deck. But again, I really like it. I'm very satisfied, and it sure beats the price that I was looking at online on getting one of those big, massive baggers that goes on the actual zero turn. This is a quick, simple solution with a quick connect. I think in one of my previous messages earlier in my video, I was thinking about moving this possibly forward maybe, but I'm finding that this is okay. I just empty the bagger more frequently, and I don't have any sort of grass coming out of there. So I'm very satisfied. I hope you guys find this review useful. Thank you.